ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता शिवशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांद राधा कांद नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवे प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा हरि ओम तत्सत। Welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavad Gita class. We are in the concluding chapter of Bhagavad Gita as it is, 18th chapter. So, 1 or 2 class, we will complete this Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are on text 68. I'll read. Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhaktesha vidhasyati bhaktim mayi param kritva maham eva ishyati asamshayah. Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhaktesha vidhasyati bhaktim mayi param kritva maham eva ishyati asamshayah. या इदं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेषु अभिधास्यति भक्तिं मयि परं कृत्वा माम एवैष्यति असंशयः. सरस्वती माताजी and Tarini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshva abhidasyati bhaktim mayi param kritva mam evaisyati asamsaya.
Vibol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Vibol. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Okay? This is secret. Krishna says this is Guhyam. Okay? Guhyam. It is there open. What Guhyam is that? Open secret? We say, no, it's open secret. Okay. Krishna is Bhagavad Gita, everyone has it. We are all reading. But Krishna says this is Guhyam. Why only the devotee has the key? Non-devotees doesn't have the key to enter into the depth and the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Only if you are a devotee, you will be able to understand the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita's instruction, Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna. That's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, for one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees. This is supreme secret because everyone cannot understand. Now, if you swim on the surface, what will you understand about the pearls? When you go in depth of the water, when you dive deep into the water, then you will be able to get the pearls. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is also like that. If you just simply read it, you will not understand anything. You should be able to understand only if you approach a bona fide spiritual master, devotees, then you will be able to understand the real essence of Bhagavad Gita, the real instruction that Krishna wants to impart to Arjuna. So if those devotees who explain this supreme secret to devotees, what is guaranteed? Krishna says pure devotional service is guaranteed. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. And what's the result? You will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. That is the ultimate goal of life for all of us, for all human beings. The destination is going back home, back to Godhead. Okay? So this human life is meant for self-realization, not for sense gratification. So generally it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed amongst the devotees only. Or those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Non-devotees will not understand the value of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, the instruction that Krishna wants to impart to Arjuna, they will not understand. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. So unless until you know the principles that are laid down in Bhagavad Gita, the instructions that Krishna wants to impart to Arjuna, if we are not thorough of it, we should not explain it whimsically according to our, our intelligence. Because we all know that our senses are imperfect. If we are not studying this great scripture under a bona fide spiritual master, then we'll be totally misled. So it's subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. It is not meant for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is finally, everybody wants to go back home, back to Godhead. So reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding the instructions given that, then applying that instruction in our day-to-day life, we'll be eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So, and not only that, once we understand, then we should be able to impart this to our fellow devotees also, to our friends and relatives also. We should not be selfish to keep it to ourselves. We should also impart this knowledge to others so that they also get benefited. We should not be miser. Those who are inclined, those who are like-minded, we should give them also. Why only me alone? We should impart this knowledge to others. So to such people, Krishna is guaranteeing here. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. So that is the result. So Krishna wants all of us to impart this to others who are bereft of this knowledge. Only to those who are favorable to receive this knowledge. Not to atheistic people, not to those who envy Krishna. So it should be given to those people who are like-minded and who knows the greatness of Krishna. So that we have to be very careful. That is why in the one of the 10 offenses, to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name is an offense. Okay, if people are not having any faith in the scriptures, nor in the supremacy of Lord Krishna, then why waste time? It's an offense also if you explain to them the glories of the holy name and about Supreme Lord Krishna. Because of ignorance, if they don't know, that's a different thing. Then we can make them understand. But those who are atheistic, we should be careful. We should not deal with such people imparting this knowledge. So text 69. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritama bhavidana cha me tasmat anya priyotaro bhuvi. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritama bhavidana cha me tasmat anya priyotaro bhuvi. Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritama Bhavita na cha me tasmat anya priyataro bhuvi. Mayuri Mataji and Tarani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nacha tasmad manusheshu kashchit me priyakrittamah bhavita nacha me tasmat anya priyatara bhuvi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Krishna is telling about whom? Those who impart this knowledge to others. So there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he means than he who imparts this knowledge to others, nor will there ever be one more dear. So such people who impart this knowledge to others, they are very, very dear to Lord Krishna than anyone else. So Krishna wants this message to be spread all over. Such people are very, very dear. That is what Krishna says. Text 70. Adyeshyate cha ya imam. Adyeshyate cha ya imam. Dharmyam samvadam avayo. Jnana yajnena tenaham. Ishtasyam idi me mati. Adyeshyate cha ya imam. Dharmyam samvadam avayo. Jnana yajnena tenaham. Ishtasyam idi me mati. Adyeshyate cha ya imam. Dharmyam samvadamavayo jnana yajnena tenaham ishtasyamiti me mati. Okay, Tarini Mataji and Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Adyeshyate cha ya imam dharmyam samvadam avayoh jnana yajnena denaham ishtasyam iti me matihi. Hare Krishna.
Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of our worships, and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence.
Very good. Krishna is telling, and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. So the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, those who studies that, this sacred conversation, it's not an ordinary conversation. It's mentioned here sacred conversation. Dharmyam. Here it's mentioned dharmyam, sacred. It is about dharma. Okay, that is sacred. And how they worship me by his intelligence. So this is the this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna should be studied very scrutinizingly. And he says at the end, they will worship him by his intelligence. So at the end of this conversation, we should be in a position to understand the greatness of Lord Krishna, that he is not an ordinary person like us. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. And we should be able to worship him because he is worshipable. He is the supreme Lord. And how we can worship him? Only by our intelligence, because by our intelligence we can understand this sacred conversation. From this we'll be able to understand that he is Lord himself. He is not an ordinary person, as many of us think. He is an historical person, or some people go to the extent of saying that he is an imaginary person. Such a person did not exist at all. Some people go to that extent also. He is not an imaginary person. He is not an historical person. He is the supreme personality of God himself. So text 71. Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyad abhiyo naraham sopi mukta subha lokan prapunyat punya karmanam shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyad api yo naraha sopi mukta subha lokan prapunyat punya karmanam श्रद्धावान अनसूयश्च शृणुयादपि यो नरः सोऽपि मुक्ता शुभा लोकान् प्रापुण्यात् पुण्यकर्मणाम्. Mayuri Mataji and Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Shraddhavan anasuya cha shrunuyat api yo naraha sa api mukta shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam.
Very good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell.
Very good. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. So in the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gitas being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. So it is mentioned the 67th of this verse that we should not speak or we should not impart this knowledge to envious people. So, in other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class. And in that class, not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. So when we call for a class, there are many devotees. We don't know what are their levels. Some may be ignorant, some may be, having atheistic mentality. So at least those who are inclined will accept. So first itself we cannot make out who are envious, who are not envious. So that's why it is said here, all the students are, not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. Because of ignorance, they don't know. They don't really value the Bhagavad Gita section. When we make them understand who we are, from where we are coming, why we are suffering this material world, what is our goal, so then they will open for discussion. And when we say that we are all in this material world suffering because of our previous karma, then there'll be so many questions. We can answer those questions, and they will slowly and gradually become devotees. So that's why we cannot make out who are all envious, who are all non-envious also. So they have faith in him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. So such people, just because a pure devotee is explaining to them, and when they become convinced, so what is their destination? They will be going to higher planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. That's the destination. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the result of righteous activities. Even if he doesn't become a pure devotee, at least if he accepts the instructions of Bhagavad Gita and worship, he has not become pure devotee, but then he will go to the higher planetary system. Thus, a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from all sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord. Generally, those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. Those who are followers of Dharma and those who are free from the sinful reactions of their past lives, For them, it is easy to take up Krishna consciousness. Those who are having so many, sinful reactions in their karma account, for them it's very difficult for them to accept. And who are following a sinful path, for them it's very difficult to accept Krishna. So the word punya karmanam, those who have pious credits, is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices like the Ashwamedha Yajna mentioned in the Vedic literatures. So in the olden days, especially in the earlier yugas, they used to perform many yajnas to please Vishnu. So those who have done such yajnas for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they must have accumulated so much of pious credits, because of which, when they take a human birth, come in contact with the devotees, even though initially they will not be devotees, but when devotees come in contact with such people, when they explain about Bhagavad Gita and such scriptures, they will easily pick it up. They will accept it easily because they have pious credits in their karma account. So those who are righteous in performing devotional service, but who are not pure, can attain the planetary system of the pole star or Dhruvaloka. Pole star is Dhruvaloka. Okay, so they will go to that higher planetary system where Dhruva Maharaj is presiding. He is a great devotee of the Lord, and he is a special planet which is called the pole star. Okay. So they will be elevated to the higher planetary system where pure devotees are staying, and they will get very good association. And from there also you can get uplifted to the Vaikuntha planets. (72) Kachit etashrutam partha tuvaikagrena chetasa kachit ajnana sammoha pranastaste dhananjaya kachit etashrutam partha त्वयैकाग्रेण चेतसा कचित् अज्ञान सम्मोह प्रणस्तस्ते धनंजया कचित् एतच्छ्रुतं पार्थ त्वयैकाग्रेण चेतसा कचित् अज्ञान सम्मोह प्रणस्तस्ते धनंजया. Okay, Tarani Mataji and Mayuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Kachit etat shrutam partha tvayaikakrena chetasa kachit ajnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya.
Very bold.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. O son of Pratha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled?
So Krishna is asking after explaining to him different processes of self-realization, karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. He is asking final question. O son of Pratha, O conqueror of wealth, Dhananjaya, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Were you attentive when I was explaining different processes? And are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? What about you in the initial stage? You had a lot of question, lot of doubts, confusion. You are in dilemma. You are ignorant. All these have been dispelled now. So Krishna is asking Arjuna, just like a teacher asks his student after explaining everything. Now your doubts are clear, or you want me to repeat this again? And similarly, Krishna is also asking Arjuna, now your ignorance and illusions are dispelled, or in other words, you want me to repeat this again? If you think so. So Lord was acting as the spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re-explain any point or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. Just like a teacher asks his student, if required, I can repeat this again. Similarly, Krishna was also ready to re-explain this. So actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. So when we listen from a bona fide spiritual master, okay, then definitely by their mercy, our ignorance will be dispelled. But here, unlike Arjuna, we are all ordinary living beings. Arjuna was, Arjuna is an exalted devotee, isn't it? He's not like us. We have, Prabhupada has given this Bhagavad Gita as it is with Sanskrit text, English text, or any other language you will find now. Then word to word meaning, then translation, then long purports with so many quotations from different scriptures and examples and other things. But still we don't understand, isn't it? We need further explanation by devotees. If we read ourselves, we won't be able to understand in its right perspective. We want guidance from spiritual masters, senior devotees. In 45 minutes, Krishna explained all this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. There was no tape recorder to rewind it and hear again. It was not recorded. Just like how the Ganga was flowing, in that speed this should have been, because 700, all this, even though not all the 700, because 700 slokas, there are many in between Sanjaya's slokas also. Even if it takes 500 slokas between Arjuna and our Krishna, so this, in what speed they would have conversed, and never Arjuna asked, please repeat, I do not understand. Such an occasion did not arise, isn't it? There was no word-to-word translation. There was no translation. There was no purport. So with all these things, we are still struggling to understand Bhagavad Gita. We need explanation after explanation, isn't it? Still, we have so many doubts. But Arjuna's position was not like ours. As an exalted devotee. So an intelligent person. No, not recording and rewind it and hear. No, nothing was required. So that is the type of intelligence those days people had. So till then, it was not required to be recorded in writing. And as the age progressed, our intelligence, our memory, everything started diminishing. We wanted, Vyasadeva thought of writing it down for the benefit of people in the age of Kali. That is how we got this. Otherwise, till then, till Dwapara Yuga, it was all oral reception. Nothing was in written form. Because those people were very intelligent. Just once they say they can grasp it, and they had the memory power. They had the grasping power, they had the retention power, they had the recollection power. Okay. That is Pratnya, Medha, and Pratibha. Okay. Pratnya is the grasping power, Medha is the retaining power, and Pratibha is the recollecting power. Whatever we heard, maybe we have heard this something, 2-3 years before. I can recollect it. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj had this ability to reproduce whatever he heard or read many years back. He could reproduce exactly as he heard it or as he read it. So this was the kind of intelligence people had at those times. So this is special. Arjuna is an exalted devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
First is Pragya, Medha, and third one is Pratibha.
Pratibha. Pratnya, Medha, and Pratibha. So different levels of intelligence. So Pratnya is to the grasping power. Okay. And Medha is the retaining power. And Pratibha is to recollect. So we'll go to the next 73. Arjuna Vacha Nashto Mohasmridirlabdha Tatprasadanmayachyutam Siddhosmi Gada Sandeha Karishye Vachanam Tava. Arjuna Vacha Nashto Mohasmridirlabdha Tatprasadanmayachyutam Siddhosmi Gada Sandeha Karishye Vachanam Tava. Arjuna Vacha Nashto Mohasmridirlabdha Tatprasadanmayachyutam Siddhosmi Gada Sandeha Karishye Vachanam Tava. Okay. Sachimadaji and Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. X73 na? Arjuna Vacha Nashto Moha Smridirlabdha Tvatprasadanmayachyuta Stidosmi Gada Sandeha Karishye Vachanam Tava. Prabhu, Arjuna's in washroom, Prabhu. I'll just read it.
Okay.
Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions.
Karishye Vachanam Tava. Okay. I'm prepared to act according to your instruction. Arjuna is telling, my dear Krishna, oh infallible one, my illusion is now gone. A lot of confusion, lot of doubts, okay, misconceptions, everything is gone now. Krishna has explained everything. Now he is, enlightened. I have regained my memory by your mercy. So this is, we have to underline that. Do we give the credit to Krishna when we get something, when we get some, some victory, or when we get some good result? We don't give it. Say, I have made it. Isn't it? We say that. I have made it. I have achieved it. I have won it. We never add because of Krishna's mercy, because of Guru's mercy. We never say. If something bad happens, we'll say, it is not because of me, it's because of that person. He was the cause for my fault, my failure. Immediately we point out to the other person. But something good happens, it's me. The credit goes to me. So here, Arjuna is telling, it's because of your mercy I will regain my memory. Arjuna never said, I'm an intelligent person. Whatever he said, I could immediately understand. He never said. It's because of your mercy, I could understand in the right perspective. I'm now firm and free from doubt. All my doubts have been clarified. Nothing is there now. And I'm prepared to act according to your instructions. Now I will act according to your instruction. Karishye Vachanam Tava. The constitutional position of a living entity represented by Arjuna is that he has to act according to the order of the Supreme Lord. He is meant for self-discipline. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the actual position of the living entity is that of eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. What is that slogan? The actual position of the living entity is that of eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is that slogan?
Jivere Swarupa.
Yes. Jivere Swarupai, Krishna era Nityadas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says our position is that we are eternal servant of Krishna. Okay. Forgetting this principle, the living entity becomes conditioned by material nature. But in serving the Supreme Lord, he becomes the liberated servant of God. So what causes us to get entangled or to get conditioned by material nature? What causes? What is that element? What causes us to get entangled or conditioned by material nature? What is the reason? What causes?
Forgetting our constitutional position, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so what is that element that causes for our or for becoming conditioned in this material world? What makes us forget?
That illusion, I and mine.
Yeah, I
Yes.
got it. Whatever you said is right. But I want the precise word. Yeah, your point is right. I agree that. Anyone else? Sachi Mataji, Saraswati Mataji, Mayuri Mataji. Why
So
we
Maya,
become
Prabhuji?
conditioned in this material world? What is the reason that we become conditioned or we become entangled in this material world? Because of what?
Because of Maya, Prabhuji.
Yes, you are right. Because of Maya. Why we become entangled in Maya?
It's like a form of punishment for the conditioned soul, Prabhu, so that we will go back to Krishna.
Okay, agree. All of you said right. There's not doubt about it. But I want the exact reason. False ego. False ego makes us forget. False ego means thinking that I am this body, I want to enjoy separately from Krishna. This life is for me. Krishna is not there. I want to enjoy. When we come in that mode, that means false ego. Bhumirapo analo vayu kam mano buddhi revacha ahankara idiyam me bhinna prakriti arshava. Ahankar. I am the doer. I am the proprietor. Then I am the controller. Krishna is not there in the picture. So when that is the reason we are thrown to this material world. If we were following the Karishye Vachanam Tava, for example, Arjuna is now telling Karishye Vachanam Tava. Now I'll follow your instructions. If we were doing that in the spiritual world, if we did not, turn our face from Krishna, definitely it would be there with him. Because of the false ego that I want to enjoy separately from Krishna, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller, I am the proprietor. Okay, you want to enjoy? Not in this place. Why? Why it is not possible to enjoy separately from Krishna in the Supreme Lord, Supreme World, Supreme Abode of Lord? Why it is not possible to enjoy there separately from Krishna? We could very well enjoy there, no? In the Vaikuntha. Why we are thrown to this material world? Why Krishna did not accommodate us there?
Prabhu, we want to enjoy the sense gratification, Prabhu.
Yeah, but okay, well, no problem. No problem. You enjoy your senses, you be here. Why he has made a separate place for us? Why he did not allow us to stay with him in Vaikuntha? Okay, you enjoy here. If your children are too much noisy, making a lot of problem, what do? You send them out, right? Do you keep them at home? Okay, enough is enough. You go out and play. I don't want any noise here. When you finish everything, you come back. Do we do that?
Yes, Prabhu.
And another thing, that about Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram paramam bhava. Pavitram. It's pure. That is pure. No impurity can sustain the spiritual abode. So the thinking that I will enjoy separate from Krishna, that itself is impure. So you cannot make the supreme abode impure. That place is pure. So he has made a separate arrangement for us in the material world, where we'll be entangled in the three modes of material nature, where we will be able to think that I am the controller, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, and I am everything. So he is giving us an opportunity to be here, enjoy how much ever you want, but in that so-called enjoyment, you kick left, you get kicked left, right, and center by Maya. And when you're fed up, then you will turn, oh my God, what am I doing? Why I'm suffering? Why that person is not suffering? Why only me? Something is wrong. Then we'll turn our face to Krishna, to Bhagavad Gita, to Bhagavatam, to devotees. Then enough is enough. I want to get out of this hellish atmosphere. So that is how we'll try to learn Bhagavad Gita, try to apply this in our life, then try to go back home, back to Godhead, so that we will never come back again this material world for perpetual suffering. So that's what, forgetting this principle, the living entity becomes conditioned by material nature. What is that principle? That I am the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. I have forgotten that. That's why we are suffering. We become conditioned and come to this material world for suffering. The living entity's constitutional position is to be a servitor. He has to serve either the illusory Maya or the Supreme Lord. We have got only two options. What are those? Either serve Maya or serve Krishna. No middle path. If you serve Krishna, you will be there with him eternally, with total bliss. And if you forget him, you have to serve Maya. And Maya will make you feel that, oh, you are great. Maya will make you feel that you are great. You are controlling everything. No, you are the proprietor, you are the controller, you are the enjoyer. That is Maya's job. Maya wants to keep all of us in this world because she wants to enjoy, isn't it? So she wants servants. She wants disciples. So we are ready to become Maya's disciples. So the living entity's constitutional position is to be a servitor. He has to serve either the illusory Maya or the Supreme Lord. If he serves the Supreme Lord, he is in his normal condition. Now we are all in abnormal condition. Isn't it? We are not serving the Supreme Lord. We are serving, whom we are serving now?
Maya.
Maya. So how, can you explain how we are serving Maya?
Thinking that I am the controller, proprietor, and enjoying sense gratification.
Yes, we are serving our own senses. We are serving our own senses, indriyas. So if he serves the Supreme Lord, he is in his normal condition. But if he prefers to serve the illusory action energy, then certainly he will be in bondage. In illusion, the living entity serving in this material world is bound by his lust and desires. Yet he thinks himself as the master of the world. Okay, he is bound by his lust and desire because he wants to satisfy the senses. And yet he thinks that he is the master of the world. This is called illusion. When a person is liberated, his illusion is over. He no more thinks that he is enjoying himself. He will come to his senses that he is the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. And he voluntarily surrenders unto the Supreme to act according to his desires. Voluntarily, no force. Initially, we have to force, especially those who are not interested for Bhagavad Gita and other such classes. We may have to push them. Please come, Baba, come. Enough is enough. You are enjoying too much. Just spend some time in some pious activities also. So some will agree, some will not agree. He is bound by lust and desires, yet he thinks himself as the master of the world. This is called illusion. When a person is liberated, his illusion is over, and he voluntarily surrenders unto the Supreme to act according to his desires. So voluntary surrender should be there. If you are forced, what happens? What will be the result? If you are forced to surrender, it will be temporary, it will not last long. Given a chance, immediately it will again fall down, isn't it? So it should come from within. It should not be, by force. So that the last illusion, the last snare of Maya to trap the living entity is the proposition that is God. Many people have that philosophy also. You are God, I am God, everybody is God. So that is the last snare of Maya. The living entity thinks that is no longer a conditioned soul, but God. Prabhupada says that whoever thinks that is God is just opposite of God. The spelling, you change it. It becomes that. He is so unintelligent that he does not think that if he were God, then how could he be in doubt? If Arjuna was thinking that he is God, or Arjuna is God, how will be in Maya? How will he have doubts? It's not possible, no? So that he does not consider. So that in the last snare of illusion, actually to become free from illusory energies to understand Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and agree to act according to his order. The word moha is very important in this verse. Moha refers to that which is opposed to knowledge. That is illusion. Okay? That which is opposed to knowledge. Actually, real knowledge is the understanding that every living being is eternally the servitor of the Lord. But instead of thinking oneself in that position, the living entity thinks that he is not a servant, that he is the master of this material world, or he wants to lord it over the material nature. Everybody wants to control the material world and want to be the controller. That is illusion. This illusion can be overcome by the mercy of the Lord or by the mercy of a pure devotee. When that illusion is over, one agrees to act in Krishna consciousness. Again, it is not possible for us to, get over the Maya on our own strength. It is possible here, I have to underline, by the mercy of Lord or by the mercy of a pure devotee. Without the mercy of the Lord or the mercy of a pure devotee, we cannot get out of the illusion, the Maya. When that illusion is over, one agrees to act in Krishna consciousness. Then only, we'll agree to become Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness is acting according to Krishna's order. A conditioned soul, illusioned by the external energy of matter, does not know that the Supreme Lord is the Master who is full of knowledge and who is the proprietor of everything. Whatever he desires, he can bestow upon the devotees. He is the friend of everyone and is especially inclined to his devotee. So which sloka is that? That Krishna is the friend of everyone.
.26 Prabhuji.
Yes, what is that sloka?
Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvalokamakeshwaram.
Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He is a friend of everyone, not just human beings. Sarvabhutanam, all living entities. We may be friend to some, to human being maximum. We cannot be friends of animals or aquatics and trees and plants. We cannot become friend. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is dwelling in the heart of each and every living entity. He is friend, he is well-wisher of all living beings. He is friend of everyone and is especially inclined to the devotees. So he is inspiring whom? Mainly the devotees. He is the controller of this material nature and of all living entities. He is also the controller of inexhaustible time. What Krishna says? Ham kalosmi. I am time. He controls the time. And he is full of all opulences and all potencies. We know that Krishna has, or Krishna, what do you call it? Has all the 6 opulences, main opulences. Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can even give himself to the devotee. He can be conquered only by the devotee. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. By pure devotion, by devotees, he can be conquered. He does not become. Where we stop? Yeah, one who does not know him is under the spell of illusion. He does not become a devotee, but a servitor of Maya. Arjuna, however, after hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became free from all illusion. He could understand that Krishna was not only his friend, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he understood Krishna factually. So to study Bhagavad Gita is to understand Krishna factually. When a person is in full knowledge, he naturally surrenders to Krishna. When Arjuna understood that it was Krishna's plan to reduce the unnecessary increase of population, he agreed to fight according to Krishna's desire. He again took up his weapons, his arrows and bow, to fight under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna understood Krishna's instruction. He understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as per the plan of Krishna to reduce the unnecessary increase of population, the burden that the envious kings are giving on earth, wanted to release the problems that the atrocities of the kings, the asuras, the demonic kings. So Arjuna was used as an instrument in the hands of Krishna to finish all of them and relieve the earth from this burden. So he agreed to fight according to Krishna's desire. He again took up his weapons, his arrows and bow, to fight under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So next is 74. So we started from 68. 68. Now we have only how many? 4 more sloka? 78. How many slokas? 5 slokas. So by next week we will finish it. 78, yeah. 78 slokas. So what is next after this? Hare Krishna Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Kodi Vaishnav ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Jai Go Premanand.